So based on what I watched over on Clutch Them Pearls Justin's the other day, I've got a shout out LTL, and I'll leave the link to this in my comment section pinned for you guys, because LTL is onto something, identifying some what I would classify as severe avoidance, major avoidance indicator of deception in the statements of Donald Wells when asked about the reference to the person up on the yard touching children from the phone call on June 15th, 2021 in the car, the one that Hunter Delaney overheard. The source of many questions. Don, he didn't want to answer it. Come to think of it, Don avoids answering direct questions all of the time.
Okay, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Can you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just the time that you called her that day. About what time was that?
Like how far in between calls, between you and her having that call when she's picking up prescriptions to she's calling you saying Summer's missing? Do you know how long?
Yeah, I honestly can't say, but I remember. Only thing that I can remember, it was thinking, well, I might as well just work late because they're busy doing other things, and there's no point in me going home because I don't want to go home and sit there by myself. So I figured I'd just work late that day. And that's, yeah.
Okay. So really what Cher there was asking, how long between the call that Hunter overheard and the call that you got, that you say that you got to say Summer was missing? And of course, they called 911 at the same time from different phones, they say.
And why did Don call?
I have no idea. He just called. I don't even know if he was working at the time.
Okay.
But if he was working, he obviously wouldn't know that there was some dude looking at the little kids.
There's...
He's got a point. Hunter was showing some common sense there. It would seem Hunter recognized it as a bit suspicious, because how would Don know that there was somebody up there if he was at work?
Well, everyone knows you called your wife. Could you kind of give us a little details about that? Do you kind of remember, was it morning, afternoon, later afternoon when you called her? Do you remember how that conversation went at all? Because Hunter's saying you called about, two people touching children or whatever. So could you kind of tell us if you remember what time the call was and how that conversation went?
Well, the only thing I know is, I call her from time to time just to see what she's doing, and she said that she's taking care of some prescriptions or whatever. It seemed to me that it was later than that, but because I made up my mind, well, they're busy doing this and whatever, I might as well just stay late at work. So I was working late.
Wow. Avoidance. You didn't want to talk about the reason or what it is that you talked about. And the mention that Hunter brought up about the kid touching thing.
Hey, Don.
Hey.
Your wife messaged me and said that you was at home in a 3 o'clock hour, and I have that as evidence. She did not want nobody to know you was at home.
This is that Jenna portion again. Not to totally disregard. Maybe she has something, maybe she doesn't. Maybe it's just another piece of the puzzle that she's bringing, this conversation between Candus and Jenna. Let's have a look at it again.
That's not true. After
Well,
she messages you that, if that's not the case. That don't even
do
make sense.
you have?
I mean, why would she say something? that's not true?
Precisely, and that's what it.
See, this is just another reference to it, but it shows, well, could show a sensitivity. It just shows Candus asking Jenna about it. Did you tell somebody that Donnie was home at 3 the day Summer went missing? She said, no, not 3. Well, what time did you say? So, I mean, based upon everything else, one could interpret that. I can see what people are getting. They can interpret that because it's a sensitivity. Why would it matter? Why would it matter in that sense? Why are they so sensitive to somebody saying that Donnie was home at 3? Is there a reason you're asking this question, Candus? It's not clear either way, is it? But it's an example. So as well, she's not denying it, right? It's not like she's denying it, which in my mind is probably more important. But she said, no, I didn't say 3. I said 3:30 or 4, but you didn't see him. I told that you didn't, I told that didn't come from you. Okay, I'm sorry I was taking up for you. He's got people thinking you're a monster and you're not. I know, hun. So you could interpret that as, was Candus just looking for clarification? I mean, it's not really clear, but you could interpret it that way, absolutely.
But so they was at the lake, and then Hunter and his, I guess they went. She called and says, "Come by the house," and then she begged to take Hunter to the lake with them so they could swim a little bit. Yeah. Seen them videos, and
So here is Dawn on the behavior panel again. We've seen this a couple times, but it's worth watching in context. So Dawn, it's funny the way Dawn expresses it, that who was begging who to take who? It falls in line with Dawn's inappropriate nature around children in that sense, especially expressing himself.
I took her back and they said everything was okay in that situation between now.
Yeah. Which situation?
Sir.
Which situation, sir?
So that situation, I wonder if he's alluding to the inappropriate relationship between Candus and Dawn. Like that's a source of contention at home, like it was when he found out Jose Roman was staying over. That led to the police getting involved and there being a DV that had to get dropped eventually. You remember Jose Roman talking about how he was going to fight Dawn in that sense? That was a fairly entertaining conversation. Rest in peace, Jose. He's passed on now. But really what Dawn did is Candus was intentionally trying to make Dawn jealous, it seemed like. She was intentionally making Dawn jealous from afar by having just randos sleep over and flirt with them, bang them. This is all happening around the kids while they party, maintain their lifestyles in that sense. Don came home and snapped. Next thing you know, he had that pistol in his glove compartment of his truck, and that came out, and that's when the police came. Talking about intrafamilial escalation in that sense.
This is all our property here to the left. All this, our house is up there on top. So all this is our property. So I turn straight away in here.
There was never somebody that just disappeared without a clue that I know of. I'm sure it happens, but not that I've ever seen in my life.
Well, when there's an abduction, I mean, what else would you call it?
Yeah.
Disappearing. I don't understand that. You know. But yeah, somebody was either hiding in the weeds there, waiting for the shade, either come in the basement. But yeah, I mean, we weren't 30 feet. They weren't 30 feet away when she got gone. Yeah.
So you can understand the stumbling because they weren't more than 30 feet away, right? According to your story, Grandis was still in the trailer. Candus was somewhere around there. When you turned your back 2 minutes, somebody came up there and grabbed them. So you were there too. So how is it a stranger as opposed to somebody who's already familiar with the area like Don, and him already being home, probably on one? It's easy to see him slip up and say we, but the point to all of that is why would he again be associating himself to being present at Ben Hill Road again at the time of the reported disappearance, according to their script?
I mean, maybe 40 at the most.
Right.
I don't know.
Saw that night. How well do you know him, and do you know why he was out there around your boys?
Yeah, a lot of our neighbors heard, us screaming Summer's name, and so I think I don't know, I don't know for sure because I wasn't there, but
But yet he's still talking. You caught yourself in yeah. A lot of your neighbors heard us screaming for Summer. They caught Don fabricating and him associating himself to being present again on the hill on June 15th at the time of the disappearance.
I've known him for years.
Well, I'm going to end this show, but I mean, if you've
All
said
right,
everything,
sure,
I'm not looking into the church people to make you angry. I'm looking into the church people because they were some of the last people around your daughter, Donald.
No, they weren't around her at all. We was at our house and nobody was here but me. I wasn't here.
So when Robin tells Chris McDonough,
There's nobody here but me. I wasn't here. See, the mind doesn't want to lie. The mind wants to clarify things. He's in that frame of mind, and he's actually clarifying things. Yeah, you could consider that leakage. Absolutely. Way to go. My God.
in that interview, and she said,
So here they list all of the examples. Nobody was here but me. Oh, I wasn't here. A lot of our neighbors heard us screaming Summer. We weren't 30 feet. They weren't 30 feet away. We turned here. The I took her back statement. Candus messaged Jenna saying Dawn was home. Or more like it can be interpreted that way. She didn't deny it. Hunter is confused. He thinks Dawn was home. Why would he think Dawn was home? Well, he associated that because he was talking about somebody at his house. And I didn't want to go home and sit by myself.
it better that for some odd reason that I don't understand. My oldest boy, though, he'll stop from time to time and say he misses his sister, stuff. But, your mind has a way of forgetting every now and then. I find myself doing it too. Every now and then but then it comes like flooding all back, of course, Yeah. I might get away from it for about 15, 20 seconds, but it'll all come back.
And he goes, yeah, but like I said before, you've been through hell. Me too. Most people cannot understand certain things unless they've been through hell. I never thought I'd be in this situation after all I've been through. God has a plan, I'm sure. As long as we trust him, he promises to work it out for good. I just don't know how I can possibly get over my daughter. I just don't see how. Never expected anything like her. Now just gone.
Again, it seems like Dawn has a fixation, as though she's an object rather than a human with feelings and emotions. Like she was a possession, perhaps. You don't know how you can possibly get over my daughter? Well, what about it? And what about your daughter can't you reference at that point in time? What is it you're avoiding in that sentence? The priority there is I just don't know how I can possibly get over my daughter. Your priority is focused on primarily yourself. What happened to your daughter that you need to get over her? What is it that you need to get over in this circumstance? It would indicate that you already know the fate of Summer Wells in this scenario, Don. And you use these religious tones to deflect, to add all kinds of extra information.
Why do you have to get over your daughter, though? Like, if a kidnapper has her and she's alive and someone just took her, why do you have to get over her? You know what I mean?
Cher brings up the point, the over her. I guess we're saying the same things. What is it that you need to get over?
Wells says he himself has been a victim of online speculation, as he says some have claimed he is involved. Did you have anything to do with your daughter's disappearance?
Well, I'm at work all day, every day, I love my daughter with all my heart. And
No reliable denial in this circumstance would be the first thing that stands out. You'd be looking for normally, no, I did not.
I try to love everybody, and it's been a real experience, me turning to YouTube for help and seeing the nature. I've never seen anything like this in my life, so it's been quite a lesson to me. I've never been on YouTube or Facebook or anything. I probably never will again if I can help it, but it's been quite an experience, and it's been very educational. I've learned a lot.
So, yes or no to the question?
Okay. Oh, well, no.
Still not a reliable denial. A reliable denial. A simple no. After the fact, and he's laughing too, right?
I haven't accused you of Candus or anything, right?
Here's the fight that they had up on Molly Golightly over the door. A window into a slice of life at the Wells abode.
Guys, I heard
Man,
about
hey, you have to. I have 7 alibis.
What?
If not more. Baby, don't break my fucking door. Come on.
No,
I have 7 alibis. I have 7 alibis.
Don's bragging about the number of alibis, of course he has, in reference to the none that Candus has, and he's taunting her with it. 7 alibis. You're bragging about having alibis, therefore you can't get caught in that sense? Who brags about their alibis? Unless you are guilty.
Candus ain't
Well,
going down. She's going
because
down.
you were at work, right?
Yep. Yep.
Candace, I'm going to have to ask you some more questions. I told you this. Did you do anything to Summer?
No.
Do you know what happened to Summer?
No.
Do you know who took Summer?
No.
At this point in time, it's my opinion that Candus broke down. Remember the Cornbread Mafia statement? Well, it's not the actual words Cornbread Mafia that triggered the emotional breakdown. It's simply the fact as it is a sensitivity because she's already impressed upon people that she doesn't want to say because remember the uppers, there's something that she's protecting and it happens to be sitting right beside her by the name of Don Wells. It's Dawn that Candus is protecting. She's got guilty knowledge, all right, but it has to do with her loving husband.
Anybody in your family involved with this?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. Not that Candus is aware of.